Welcome to 2026. I am Noelle. I wanted to share 5 things I'm doing instead of resolutions in 2026. So, if you're finding yourself like me and you are sick of setting the same goals and big resolutions midway through January, you're burnt out, there's another way. So, here's what works for me, and I hope it'll work for you as well. So, the first is let's just take a moment and do a reflection. List 3 things out from last year that worked. These are going to be the building blocks for your next year. So, for me, that was we made a really big decision that we are selling everything we own and we are going to start traveling full time in 2026. The million things that go with that, of course, but that's the big one. I completed a year of college last year. That included taking heavy loads on driving 5 days a week and doing a full summer load. That was really intense so that I could complete everything on time to graduate this coming May. I started doing graphic design work again. So that has been really fun working with some great clients on that. And I deleted my Facebook account. That was early on in 2025. And the peace of mind that came from that for me was desperately needed. So I'm not saying I'll never get one again, but the time that I've been away has been really great. And I didn't just deactivate it, which I maybe should have done. I deleted it all, including my art account and all of the things. I just needed the mental break. And I'm just feeling very much this point of starting over in life and rebuilding. And yeah, so that's what I did. So number 2, you're going to do a stop doing list. That is vital to let some things go. We can't just always keep adding new things into our lives. We have to let some people go, some things go that are no longer serving us. For me, I very deliberately ended one toxic relationship where this person, well, I will probably continue to see them here and there through life, but I had to just, in the nicest, kindest way, say, my body does not react well when we're together. I would feel sick to my stomach every interaction, and there was always drama, and I just have no energy for that. And this is somebody who we share relations, and so I don't ever wish them ill, and just you do you. I just can't be a part of it is basically how I had to end that. So that was tough, but I've felt this incredible sense of peace since then about that, and just wish them well, and I no longer need to put my body through that. The other thing we stopped doing is just spending extra money. When we became really clear on our goal, we knew that all funds, wherever possible, we were going to cut out anything that didn't matter to us as much as this big goal was going to start going into the travel account. So we stopped a lot of the extra stuff. We are already pretty frugal. We live below our means. We just tends to be the way that we prefer, just a simple life. And then we would always just save up for some cool travel experiences. So it didn't require a huge change, but there still was things we cut out. And still find ourselves sometimes saying no to dinner invitations, or maybe we switch it to a coffee date instead, things like that. And again, this is what works for us. For you, you're going to want to find what that is for you. Maybe yours are completely different. The next thing is taking these big goals that I have for next year and breaking them into either monthly or just smaller micro goals. And what that looks like on mine is finishing college. So now I have just one semester left. That's a chunk that I can wrap my brain around in one step and dive in without feeling the weight of all of it at once. So a small thing that I can control for the next 5 months. Second is reaching our savings goal. I'll talk more about that coming up. Third is selling everything. So what that looks like is we are moving next summer. And so I have been, as I've had time and now being on a break between semesters, I yesterday spent going through every cabinet in our kitchen and pulling out anything we do not need for the next 5 months, 6 months while we're here, and pricing them, putting them in boxes and bins, and we're putting them in a special place, everything we can for a big moving sale that we'll have. Other things we're giving to family, to friends, as we know they could use it. I've donated some stuff, but I figure whatever also doesn't sell at the sale, we'll donate. Yeah, I mean, I have a really hard time throwing things away. Not from a cluttery hoarder mindset, but I think that's why I don't buy a lot of things either. It bothers me to picture them going in landfills. And so every time I buy something or bring it into my home, I picture that ultimately has to leave my home and that's trash. And so I've managed, I think, 2 trash bags full of stuff in the 6 months so far that we've been going through things, and 1 small trip with the small trailer to the dump. So not too bad for a household full of things. But still, it kind of makes me just, I don't like that part of it. So I'm trying to do everything I can and using intention to give things the best life they can going forward. Yeah, so that's what's working for us is, anyways, breaking up the big dream into smaller doses. There's some other ones on there, like my son is going for his Eagle Scout, so we're helping him with that. Some other mini projects to get the house ready to either sell or rent. How I'm keeping that all clear is I have lists, some shared lists on my phone where it's broken down into, either each a room, inside, outside, when we can do it, things for this break. I have a whole list of things for me to do right now when I can spend my entire day just devoted to, painting the ceilings in the basement or the walls or things like that. Number 4 is energy auditing. So this is going to be prioritizing the things that you need, the people, the tasks, in order to have your best year. How this shows up for me is how I talked about before, letting some people go. It was that, and there was also a large amount of fringe family friends that I've had to just kind of bless and release, we'll say, and just wish them well, but I energetically can't go there with you right now. And then the other way that it shows up for me is if I notice, almost similar to doom scrolling, or there's clickbaity things on, entertainment sites or social media or news channels. I want to stay informed and I want to be aware, but I try to be really deliberate with how I use my energy. So if there's something I can do or a way I can act on my feelings, if I'm reading about something or hearing about something, I will do that. If it's simply just going to sit and build in me, and now I'm going to sit and have 25 conversations about my anger about this, but not actually do anything about it, I'm catching that earlier and earlier and switching. So what I'll do is deliberately open up my to-do list, or I'll have a motivation list that really, I have my life priorities listed in order. There were days where I would be driving to school and I'd be so tired when I'd get there and have to give myself a motivational talk, just get out of the car, just get out of the car. You can do this. And I would look at that and the priorities, a family and kids and our home life here and having a safe, calm home, then school. So if I didn't get an A on a paper, it was not the end of the world. It was simply, I'm doing what I have to do. So just constantly being in tune with that and putting your energy where you can. I promise you, if you can show up for your own life and put your energy into your goals, not in a selfish, assholey way, but in a clear, intentional, I'm going to make my life as best I can. I promise you that affects the people around you more than your rage. And it really acts like a light that can also encourage other people. And the more of us that are living good, intentional lives where we can be more giving, we can be more available for people because we're in a good mental space, I believe the better. So take action where you can, especially with social issues and things like that. It's so important. But the areas where you're finding yourself just getting caught up in frustrating rage without any outlet, try to start eliminating those. Don't let them steal your energy. Use it instead to fuel your dreams. Number 5 is, I like to call it, it's cheesy, but the freedom fund. When you have savings built up, it equals choices. So this is super crucial. Having money so that you can make a better long-term choice instead of always making the short-term panicked choices is going to be life-changing. So figure out what that looks like for you. Is it a month of extra income, even an extra paycheck of income, so that you're not panicked if your check's in your account and you're hoping everything clears? Is it getting ahead on paying off any debt, having savings? When we started out about 10 years ago paying off our debt, I felt like I was going through withdrawals. We cut our cable and we made the choice to not go out to eat. And I'll link, we did a whole bunch of stuff to pay off. I think it was about $48,000 in less than 2 years. So we didn't make a lot of money. So it required all hands on deck. We sold a ton of stuff, complete lifestyle change, but it was life changing on how much not being consumed all the time by the worry and the panic and how much stuff costs. Now I do it from an empowered place. I still kept a lot of those habits because I like having the choice that having some savings brings me. It keeps just a calmness, especially when things feel really turbulent right now, especially here in America. Things just feel uncertain. And having at least where you know you have a little extra buffer changes everything. So I would encourage you to do some freedom funds, build up your savings, build up an extra check, whatever works for you at this moment. Set a goal that's doable, and then take some quick actions to start towards that. Like I said, we sold a few things to just get some fast cash. There are people out there with tons of extra money that are loving to buy things, I promise you. So don't take on the mindset where everybody's panicked about money. It's not the case. And step out of that panic and that worry and into a place of abundance, and find some ways to switch your thinking about money and switch, even if, so I lived through 2008 as an adult, and it was stressful and the world was panicking, or, America was panicking, and it was bad for a lot of people. It caused a lot of stress for a lot of people. Us personally didn't see our income affected. And so it would have been so easy for me to take on all of the panic of everybody and kind of cut things off or take on this almost poverty mindset. Instead, I learned some lessons from it that I still carry with me today. Like I said, having a little extra money. I don't like that feeling of being terrified how you're going to pay your bills at the end of the month. I've lived that in my 20s. I don't ever want to live it again. So you can bring with that now, whether it's taking up some overtime, some side hustle things, selling some things. So one of the easiest ways sometimes is just simply spending less. When you start to look at everything as just stuff and it's easy to come by, every time you buy something from the store, think of, could I have got this used? So often something we would buy new, you can find used at a thrift store, garage sales, that is decent. And some of it requires time. So if you're working full time, I know it's a trade-off. But just being aware of where you're spending your money. I grew up with a mom who loved to shop, and she passed away at 57, way too early. And her house was full of beautiful things that she didn't get to enjoy. And I inherited so much stuff from her that I think it forever turned me off of stuff, because I look at what it robbed her in her life, her time and her energy and her choices by having all of those things. I would have rather her had the freedom to know she had different choices she can make than to have all the beautiful things sitting there. So take from that what you will. That for me has been a huge life-changing thing, is just having a little extra money to have freedom of choice. So just know, take with this video is just you're not starting from scratch. You're going into this year with the building blocks that you have built up. You are unique. You have your own path that you're on. So like for us, our path is to travel and do this. There were so many years where we're raising kids and loving that time of life. We're going to sports and we're doing different things. Whatever stage of life you're in, just savor it. Enjoy it. Find the best way you can live that time of life and dive full on. So it's not about looking what other people are doing at all. It's finding what works for you and tuning inward, not outward. That should be the goal, I think, of 2026 is cutting out a lot of the noise. We're inundated with information and trends and all of the things all the time. It's no longer a matter of trying to find the information. It's a matter of cutting yourself off from all of the excess. That's where the superpowers come in and getting really deliberate with your energy. So I hope that helped. If it did, give this a like. This is a new channel for me. I'm going to try to post a video almost every day this year as I go through moving, finishing up my degree in my 40s, making all these big life changes. How do we be a dreamer, but also really realistic and practical and just kind of a project manager mindset? We have to like use our energy wisely and our funds wisely and resources and balance that with big ideas. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll join me again. Bye.